going on, everybody? Djgoham here. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to something kind of brand new that we're going to try here on the channel. A lot of you have heard of different modders. You may have heard of Adub, you may have heard Lancey Boy, Black Sheep Modding, people like that, people who are very big or upcoming modders in the community. And today, we're going to meet one of those guys. On call with us right now on Facebook, we have Adub himself. Adub, say what's up, man.
Not much.
So, Adub actually helped me out. He's been part of the channel for quite a while now, and you have got, right now, you've got, what, 7 different Seasons Geos on the Mod Hub right now. Now, first, before we get into anything, what got you into modding for Farming Simulator, and have you done anything for previous Farming Simulators or any other games?
Most of the reason I started modding was, one, I just enjoy being on computers and learning new things with games. And then I've been pretty much a modder ever since FS13. And then I didn't start publicly releasing mods until around FS17, FS15.
Gotcha. So what are some stuff that you did for 15 and 17?
Mostly just small stuff like editing trailers, faster mowing speeds, pretty much everything you do yourself.
Gotcha. So you just want to go fast.
Pretty much.
So with those things going faster and all that good stuff for 17, what in Farming Simulator 19 made you want to go in and start making stuff for Seasons right away?
It was mostly just a curiosity of how geos worked, and just so everyone can have fun with mods I make.
Gotcha. Yeah, things that you would never see, because we don't have any North or South Carolina maps, just for, pointing those out. And being somebody from North Carolina, I'm like, man, that is so cool. And I've seen other people, especially Missouri, Ohio, guys from California saying, we never get geos. And it's so cool to be able to farm like it is local, regardless of what map it is. People don't realize you can put any geo on any map and have fun with it. It's just what you want to do. Now, you've got stuff in here like Seasons Eastern USA. Now, I know we've got the Midwest USA, which comes directly from Realismus Modding. Now, we'll just use that one for example. What are things that you go in and you see like, okay, I see this, how much research do you do on areas beforehand? And how do you go about even doing a geo? Is in layman's terms, I guess.
Most of the time I just go to this site called USA Climate Averages, and I take the averages of those temperatures, which is usually in Fahrenheit, and then you have to convert them to Celsius for the XML to read it right. Because if you put like 60 Fahrenheit, it would be like 200 degrees.
Yeah.
In the game.
One thing a lot of people don't know is everything for Farming Simulator XML is Celsius, and it is also in kilometers per hour as well. So once you get your temperature set and you've got everything, like, okay, I know I want this part of the United States or this part of the world. I know these are the temperatures. I've converted them into Celsius. Is it just changing numbers in files from there, or is there other stuff that you have to do as well?
Pretty much all you gotta do is just change numbers, and then in the mod dash you add all the descriptions and stuff for the mod.
Gotcha. Now, how long does it take to make one of those, or does it vary depending on which one you're doing?
Mostly with my skills, about 10-20 minutes.
Wow, really? So it just, boom, that quick. That's crazy. When Seasons updates, for example, do these geos need updates when Seasons gets an update? Or are all these geos that you made, or are they pretty much all good to go for regardless of what Seasons happens? Or is it kind of like, well, we'll figure out when changes come?
For the most part, I think they would work, but I'll probably try to keep them up to date as much as possible.
Gotcha. And one last question about your Seasons mods. So you've got 7 on here. For those of you that don't know, Adub has made Kansas, South Carolina, North Carolina, California, USA Eastern, Missouri, and Ohio. And those are from your most recent to the first one that you made for Farming Simulator 19. What made you want to make those specific ones?
I don't really know. It's just random curiosity for each state.
Gotcha. I do appreciate the North Carolina one, though. I'll tell you that. I was hyped when I was like, hey, Dub, that's what I'm talking about, man. I saw that. That was awesome, dude. So moving away from the things that you've done publicly for Farming Simulator 19, like all the Seasons Geos and stuff, you actually got me out of a little bit of a bind last week that I put myself in. You reached out to me. I was trying to make a AGCO Ideal mower that would put the grass in the back. Now, I tried and got quite a bit of hate on the video because people are saying, like, DJ, why would you do this? This doesn't make sense. And I looked everywhere and I couldn't find it. This mod does not exist. And you reached out, you're like, yeah, I can do it. I was like, the confidence, man, I love it. And I tried and I just couldn't figure it out. What is it that you went in and did to change it and make it to where you can mow with it and so you can collect the grass in the back at the same time?
So mostly what I did, I tried multiple ways of like the mowers and balers that are in game, and then it popped into my head that forage harvesters can do the same thing that you wanted the combine to do. So I went around, changed the code to be the forage harvester, which basically was just changing the functions of it to be cutter forage, and then for the draper head.
The thing is, you could do that. It's all in code. You just change the thing. Like if you want to plant, corn instead of wheat, you just go from seeder to planter. You just change one line of code, and it's that easy. Somehow I couldn't figure it out, but genius. There's the Adub over here. Got it down. Well, you had it for what, 20 minutes, maybe something like that, maybe 30. You sent like later that night. You sent me a message. You're like, yeah, it's done. I fixed it.
Yeah.
No way. And I didn't even see the picture. I'll see if I can put it up. I didn't even see the picture, and I was like, yeah, but can it, collect it? You're like, yeah, look at the HUD. I was like, no way. There was like 20,000 liters of grass in the back. I was like, that is what I'm talking about. And I've gone in and I've checked, and you changed it for every single capacity level as well, which I thought was really cool. So we're going to be able to do, what was it, 10 million liters of grass? As a matter of fact, those of you guys that are listening to this and watch this, here in about 4 hours, that video is going to come out where I'm going to be using it for the first time on Lone Oak. So that's going to be really, really exciting, a lot of fun. I'm kind of I'm nervous because I haven't used it yet at the time of recording this, but I've checked it, made sure everything works, and of course I know it works from you. But that's insane. That's just so cool. As far as you've got your geos, you've got your you saving me and making the mod just do some crazy stuff that nobody needs, but I want it so bad. On top of that, what else are you working on for Farm Sim 19?
At the moment, I've got a map in the works where it's mostly a forestry-based map where the only way you can farm is by clearing the trees and creating your own fields. And then I have a 9000 series John Deere forage harvester that I'm turning into a US series in the works.
Nice. What goes into because a lot of the tractors that we have in game, especially the John Deere, all the European versions, what goes into modernizing something for the US instead of a European version that we have in game?
It's mostly changing up to the type of tires they use on the real life models and getting rid of all the European logos and like warning symbols.
Gotcha. Yeah, there are quite a few American players, myself included, that, you go through, you play in, the first month or two of Farm Sim 19, you're like, yeah, this is cool. And then you start to realize, I've never seen this model before. And what are those flags on the back? I've never seen that. And you start to realize this is not an American tractor at all. But it's so cool. A lot of people are going to be really excited to hear that you're doing something like that. Now, of course, there's other modders that have done stuff like that too, but not as quickly as you're putting stuff out. You're doing stuff really fast. How are you able to get stuff done out so fast? Do you have this crazy like $10,000 PC, or what are you doing to use to edit your mods?
Not really that much. The only thing I have for my setup is a i7 with a 1 gigabyte graphics card, but I can still run and do everything that involves modding quite fine.
Yep. Now, could you just use like a $100 or $200 laptop that you pick up from like Walmart or Best Buy? Can you use something like that in mod?
As long as it can handle 3D modeling and rendering with the graphics card it has in it, it can do it.
Nice. To give you guys an example, the computer that I'm using is basically an equivalent to an i9 processor. I'm using a Ryzen 9 3900X, and I have an 11 gig video card as opposed to the 1 gig. So you're able to do everything. You're able to 3D model, and you're able to do all of the editing on that PC. How much does something like that cost you?
It's probably around 600, 800 maybe.
Gotcha. And that may even be on the high side, probably, at least for today.
Yeah, because I got my rig with used mostly. All I had to do was put a hard drive and Windows on it.
Yeah. Now, you were mentioning that you were doing some modding beforehand on like some 90s software or something like that. Tell me about that.
So my way older rig that I used for 17 and the beginning of 19 only had the Intel Phantom CPU, which was made back in like 1991.
And you were
and it only
modding.
had a 2 gigabyte graphics card in it.
And you were still modding just fine.
Yeah, I can still mod on that.
So that just goes to show you guys, you don't need this crazy big rig to do this. Anybody can mod. Now, what I know we talked about kind of what got you into modding. What was your very first mod that you made?
I think it was just an insane capacity tipper.
Nice. That's my style right there. I love it. I love it. So getting into our last topic for the day here, how old were you when you first started modding?
I started modding when I was around 9 or 10 years old. And I'm 16 now.
Wow. So you were about 9 or 10 years old, like that 6-7 years ago from here, and now you're getting mods published like it seems seemingly 1 or 2 a week at this point. Though I know you're not working on a whole lot more right now, only a couple. How are you able to get into modding so young?
It was mostly the help of my dad, who was a computer technician for pretty much his entire life. And then me just being curiosity and messing around with code and breaking things.
Speaking of breaking things, what is there anything that stands out that you're like, I tried this and that definitely did not work? Maybe had like a undesired effect. Maybe it was funny or something like that. Does anything stand out like that?
Yeah, mostly when I try to do coding of tires, I've had it where it just keeps rotating around and around the axles, where it's not actually aligned onto the axle. Just flips through the air.
I bet that'd be crazy. If you've got, if you ever accidentally make that happen, you should definitely post that on your YouTube channel. That would be hilarious. I love stuff like that. I think that's crazy. Speaking of your YouTube channel, I will have links to not only your YouTube channel, but any other social media that you've got down in the description below. If you guys want to go check out Adub, I will leave a link to all of his mods that he's done for Farming Simulator 19 in the description. Again, we've got 7 different seasons GOs. However, you're working on a logging map where you have to clear all the logs, and then you can farm, and you're working on an American version of the John Deere 9000 series. Do you have free time? You seem very busy.
Yeah, that's mostly what I do in my free time, besides gaming. That's what I do for fun.
Heck yeah. Is there anything else that you play other than Farming Simulator that you really like?
I play some GTA to play LSPDFR.
Yeah.
And then PC Building Simulator.
There you go. There you go. And what's your primary gaming rig? Do you do all PC? Do you have some consoles as well?
Yeah, I have a console too.
Word. You play on PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Nice. PlayStation, at least for YouTubers, is definitely the easier version of the two. You basically need a PC if you're gonna have an Xbox, but if you have PlayStation, you're good to go. So those of you out there that want to do YouTubing or want to be a YouTuber in the future, PlayStation, at least right now, before the next generation of consoles, is definitely the one that you want to go with. Other than that, do you have any questions for me? Do you have anything else that you want to say before we take off?
I don't think so.
Word. Well, Adub, I really appreciate you jumping in here today, being the first guest on here. I feel it's super under the weather, but I appreciate you kind of dealing with it. We've had quite a few interruptions throughout the recording process. I thank you for being awesome. I really appreciate you for making really good, fun mods that are completely different from anything else that we've got in the game, and I'm really excited to see what you've got left for us. If you guys have any questions for Adub, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. We'll do our best to answer anything. Of course, we'll try and get to as many as we can, but you guys are dropping like hundreds of comments on the video, so it's a little crazy. So, but nonetheless, Adub, again, thank you for being on here. I appreciate you. Good friend of the channel. Not only that, but becoming a very good friend personally as well. And I hope you have a great day, brother.
You too.
All right, guys. Well, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you drop a like. Get subscribed to the channel. Make sure you go over to Adub's channel. Subscribe to him as well. If you have any questions, again, drop them down in the chat box below. But with that being said, hope you have a great day. We'll see you later. You want to say peace?
You can.
Peace.